Our beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in over 2,500 locations across the United States. We're now available in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio, Idaho, Illinois, Michigan, Montana, Oregon, and Texas. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, enter your city or zip, and find the nearest location closest to you. Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Yeah, welcome to the Monday Morning Recap, everybody. Brought to you by MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin' Bros doubles that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Get off the couch and get into the action today with MyBookie.com. People were asking for a welfare check in Drinkin' Bros Sports on Facebook yesterday on me because I didn't do any NFL bets.
We also don't believe in welfare.
Not at all. Not at all on this show. Never have, never will.
No.
I'll be honest with you guys. You saw my bet slips on Saturday for college football. I got fucking destroyed. Week after week in college football here, it seems to be continued chaos. Biggest shock, let's start with that. Alabama, 3 points against Oklahoma. I mean, I didn't even bother putting that game on because I thought it was going to be such a blowout.
That was a shocker. I thought Alabama was going to roll. That blew a couple teasers for me.
We all did.
I tried to tell you. Told you Oklahoma and Norman. It's going to be weird.
It's weird, but let's face it, they haven't had a good team in years over there. And for Alabama to put up 3 points is pretty fucking shocking. Now,
get them out. Alabama's done.
We'll get to that.
You can't nuke everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with
them, though.
You can nuke that. That's the thing with the 12-team playoff.
Fuck it, dude. Put in like 7 SEC schools. Why? Indiana, get out of here.
Why? Hang on. We'll get to it. But with Alabama, it's the same fucking story. Force that kid to throw. Put a spy on him so he can't run, and then that's it. That's the game plan.
Sure, yeah, but you should still be able to beat Oklahoma, right?
I 100% agree.
That's just SEC, baby.
The fact that they went from 7 to only 13 by scoring 3 points
tells you everything you need to know.
What the fuck is that?
They're jamming them in there.
Like, get out of here.
They're going to jam them in the fucking playoffs.
Alabama's not going to make the playoffs.
Tennessee's in. Almost certainly if they beat
Tennessee
Vandy.
probably gets in.
Don't
Texas,
know that they beat Vandy.
I agree, but
I still think that if by some stretch, and A&M lost too, they looked like shit. Even though it came down to the wire, whatever, 4 overtimes, I don't care. They looked terrible in that game.
They got bailed out by calls to even get them to overtime.
If they lose to Texas, which I think they will, there's still a path for South Carolina to fucking hop skip a couple of people.
Yep.
Especially because Clemson's 12 right now. I don't know what they're in CFP, but AP they're 12. If South Carolina beats Clemson, and I think they will, flip-flop them. Put South Carolina in the goddamn playoff.
Well,
I agree.
Being ranked 12th won't get you in.
Certainly not.
Yeah.
But it helps.
If you're top 10, you're probably pretty safe.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to say something fucking bold on this show. I think South Carolina has looked way better than Alabama.
That kid Sellers, I'm telling you, he's winning the Heisman next year.
Well, Alabama did beat South Carolina.
They did?
Yeah.
What was the score of that game?
It was close.
27-25.
27-24.
It was not as close as
Where
that.
was it at?
It was at Bama.
It was happening while we were at the Oregon-Ohio State game.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
we were at
Alabama
Missed it, yeah.
Alabama beat South Carolina.
Yeah, it was 27-25.
But South Carolina scored a very late touchdown and had to onside kick. It was not.
It was bullshit.
Yeah,
like
it was not as close.
So
as the score.
27-18 then.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right, then how do you
That's a
justify?
comfy
Okay,
win.
well, right, but then how do you justify a South Carolina over an Alabama?
because there's no transitive property in sports.
But that's
in
not
South
transitive.
Carolina.
That's not transitive. They played each other. So if that last slot is down to the two of them, Bama should get it.
No, because Bama lost to Vanderbilt. They lost to Tennessee. They lost to Oklahoma. All on the road, fair enough. Same with Georgia, 2 losses all on the road in the SEC.
South Carolina has a home loss to LSU.
Put them both in.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but I'm just saying like it would be a tough. It would be.
I think that they set a precedent last year. Forget about 12 versus 4 teams. They set a precedent last year looking at how good the team is right now, right, with Florida State.
Yeah.
That, by the way, who was 10-0, right? They looked at that team and were like, no, your quarterback's gone. Fuck you. Sellers is playing better than anybody in college football right now. You got to put them in.
Get the Big 12 out.
If they rock Clemson, which I think they're going to beat Clemson by fucking 2 touchdowns, I think they're going to fuck them up.
The Big 12 should have no teams.
Big
Boise,
12.
shouldn't,
I
Boise
agree.
shouldn't make it either. Fuck 'em.
Boise, I would put in because they've got a great player and you want to see it.
They're going to lose to UNLV.
But the Big 12 doesn't belong in there.
Army, get them out of my face.
If they beat UNLV, then when you put Boise in?
You have to.
They're going to get in
Yeah.
if they beat UNLV, but if they lose, no.
Whomever wins the Mountain West Championship right now, assuming neither of them fuck up next week or this coming week, is in, period.
And I, to be honest, wouldn't mind seeing Arizona State get in.
Me neither. I think they played
because
hard. Yeah.
They fucking it's a solid program. They're chippy, and they might be one. If you're talking about teams
fun.
from like 9, 10, 11, 12 that are going to bump one of the higher, upset somebody, Arizona State is top of that goddamn list because that's all they do is upset people.
And I mean, they're technically, in my mind, a one-loss team because they lost a game to Cincinnati where their starter was out.
Yeah.
Levitt just didn't play, so
Right.
I'm not counting that.
So what do you do with Indiana then? Because
Indiana's in.
this game was a fucking curb stomp, 1. 2, Ohio State has no offensive line. They can't run the ball anymore. So you knew what they were going to do the whole fucking game. You knew the game plan going into this, and you still got fucking trounced like this?
It doesn't matter. Just the way it works out. They're benefiting from being in that conference and not having to play in that title game. This is going to happen at least once every year.
This is the only ranked
Somebody's
team
gonna
they've
get
played, and they got fucking destroyed with no offensive line.
Right, they're going to get in, though, because of all the things that happened in the SEC this weekend.
Yeah.
So you think they're in?
Yes.
They're probably
There's
in.
almost certainly no way.
I
they're
wouldn't
getting
put them
left
in.
out.
I mean, if they still have to handle business with a very difficult Purdue. Just kidding. Purdue hasn't won a game.
They could be the spoiler
Yeah,
makers, you know?
they'll go 1-8.
Where is that game?
It's in Indiana.
Yeah. I
It would be funny if Purdue's only conference win is to knock
Throw the
Indiana
record
out of
books
the
out.
That's
playoffs.
what
know.
you want to do in a rivalry game. If you're a nobody, if your team sucks at you,
You can make a name for yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, but unlikely, right? So it's probably true that Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon all get in from the Big Ten,
and
Penn State.
and Penn State
Because they survived over the weekend at Minnesota.
fucking told you to watch out for those Gophers.
Yeah, and it was a good game.
To be honest, the surprising part of that wasn't the closeness of the game. It's that Penn State managed to score 28 points.
They had to pull off a fake punt to win the game.
and they did it. It's just survived now at this point. And who's Penn State playing last? Who's their last game of the year?
Michigan State.
Yeah, it's
At home?
I think it's at Michigan State. I think.
That
Hold on,
doesn't
let me
matter.
check. No, that doesn't
They
matter.
suck.
Michigan State. That's like a fucking high school team. At this
Yeah.
point.
So we're looking at
No, it's Maryland, which is.
Is it
Yeah,
at home or
It
at
doesn't
Maryland?
matter. It's at home, but it wouldn't matter.
No, but it's good if it's a home game
Yeah.
because look, you win, you're in, and the fans will be hyped for it. So yeah, that'll be fucking great.
Maryland's also 1-7 in conference.
So if we're saying what we're all saying, because I think obviously we're going to do a live watch next Saturday for Ohio State, Michigan, brought to you by MyBookie.com, obviously. Ohio State wins. They're in against Oregon. Does that cement the Big Ten then with 4 teams?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how you wouldn't with those 4 teams.
If I had to guess, if only one could do it, if SEC or Big Ten would put in 4 teams, Big Ten is the only one that I would choose at this point.
Now, what if Ohio State loses to Michigan? And then Oregon.
If Ohio State loses to Michigan,
No, because they won't
should
play
shut that program.
Hang
down.
on, but they won't play Oregon. Though.
Because
that's the thing.
If they
It'll
lose to
go to
Michigan,
Penn
they won't
State.
get in.
Yeah, it would go to Penn State.
Penn
No,
State
it would
or
go to
Indiana. Yeah, it would go to Indiana then. But the spread on that just came out, and it's fucking 20 points.
For
20
Michigan.
For
or
Ohio
28?
State.
20?
No, 20.
Oh, that's it.
Minus 20.
I figured it would be higher
Listen,
because Michigan's bad.
Michigan
man.
just put up 50.
Yeah, I
Don't wanna
know.
get hot.
Against, like last week they did.
Don't let my boy Davis Warren tear you guys down.
So
Nobody in the crowd or at this table knows who that fucking is.
Yeah.
You don't even know who it is.
You don't
He
even know who
followed
that
me on
guy
Twitter
is.
before I deactivated my Twitter because Kamal lost.
Oh, yeah, did
I'm
you
off
take it
X.
off?
Yeah, he's on
Yeah.
Blue Sky now
Yeah, Blue Sky boy.
with all the pedophiles.
Smart. But yeah, that's because SEC is going to bitch about this Indiana thing, and I get it, man. I watched that team, and we thought, hey, they're scoring 50 a game and all this other shit.
Yeah.
Quarterback is 8 for 18 for 40 yards.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
like I said for the last 2 weeks. Like South Carolina would have Indiana's record if they played in the Big Ten.
yes.
South Carolina would
yeah.
be better.
Probably.
Would have beaten Ohio State.
Maybe honestly, like it just depends, but it doesn't. Like Indiana ain't played nobody, Paul. They ain't played nobody.
And then look, Ohio State's being saved by the best defense in the nation, and that's simply it right now. But
or inept offenses from the Big Ten.
Look, they were good. They were averaging a fuck ton of game before their line went out, but it's a different story now. And I'll be curious to see that Oregon game in a couple weeks, as will everybody else.
No, I'm just
if they
saying,
put it on at noon, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
The competition, for whatever reason, the Big Ten just doesn't have offense except Oregon.
Yeah. So here's ESPN's CFP playoff predictor right now.
Okay.
Oregon, Ohio State have greater than 99% chance of making the playoff.
They're in,
both
yes.
in.
Yep.
Penn State's got 99%. Texas, 98%. Indiana, 98%. Georgia, 91%.
Now, Texas loses to A&M this weekend. They're probably still in.
Yeah, probably in, yeah.
Even though
Is
they
that
have
their second loss?
That'll be their second loss.
Yeah, they're in.
Yeah.
They're in.
But they haven't beaten anyone.
Notre Dame's
No.
at 90%. Miami's at 80% because they think they're going to beat SMU in the championship
But they're
game.
not.
I don't know. But
SMU's
they're
at 63%. I think that's
Miami can literally lose every single week.
I can't wait for that game.
Miami SMU.
Yeah.
Well,
that's going to be
that
a fucking great game.
Supposes that is the game. Now SMU's in; they have clinched their spot. But if Miami loses at Syracuse this week, which they could,
They could.
Every now and again,
on the road.
Kyle McCord will fucking tune it up. Every now and again.
Honda will start.
He'll throw 4 touchdowns every now and
The
again.
Honda
And-
will start occasionally.
and then Clemson's done with conference games,
Yeah, they're done.
so
Oh, yeah.
Clemson would be in.
Holy shit.
And honestly, Miami could lose this weekend. And
They could.
They could probably still get in.
Yeah, because
Miami.
branding helps. Branding helps.
Yeah, but that's a 2-loss team. That would be a bad loss. to
Tennessee's
Syracuse.
not good.
Tennessee is at 76%.
They have to beat Vandy.
Vandy. So
That's not a given anymore.
look, we have
Not this year.
We have chatted with them about doing a hard AF Seltzer deal behind the scenes and everything else. I can tell you right now, with everything in me, with the boosters, all their other shit, they're treating this as if this is their Super Bowl and they finally want to knock off Big Brother and have a fucking party there, and it's a resurgence for Vanderbilt, and maybe they can continue this going on into next season. They're going to give everything they have in this game, and I don't know that I'm not dropping money on Vandy.
I mean, this is the perfect opportunity for Heupel to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yes.
Perfect opportunity, and I wouldn't be shocked in any way if fucking Tennessee got beaten this game.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't be shocked if they won by 20 points either, but I definitely would not be shocked if they lost.
Old droopy face, blowing it
Yeah.
last minute.
I-
He could never.
He could always. So we'll see what happens there. Army lost.
done.
They got
They're done.
housed. Are they out?
Yeah,
Notre,
they're
yeah,
done.
Notre Dame looks great, by the way.
They could beat
Notre
Tulane
Dame. Notre Dame can
and
win
still
a
be
title,
out.
I think.
That's a crazy statement that I will never ever believe in.
Yeah, I mean, they always find a way to fuck it up. It's like saying the Mets can win the World Series, but they've got the talent.
I'm about to flash the Celtic cross my back, go full Notre Dame fan like I was when I was 12 years old.
Boy, no, I don't think so. Look, Notre Dame's a strange team, man. Because Riley Leonard, 10 for 13, 148 yards.
The quarterback doesn't matter.
I guess not. Because Army then ran for 100 and fucking. Their quarterback ran for 140 yards in this game.
Yeah, that's their offense.
I didn't watch it, but
That's what Army
They run the
does.
option, yeah.
Yeah,
He doesn't throw.
who's Notre Dame really played this year?
A&M.
Okay.
They have a road win.
First
at
game of the
A&M
year.
Week 1.
First game of the year, right?
Rest of the schedule is pretty bad.
Awful. And then they lost in Northern Illinois. So
yeah, they do that though. They lost to Marshall.
I mean, they beat Louisville,
years ago.
Navy, and Army, who were all ranked at the time of those games. So say what you want about that, but it matters.
Louisville has 5 losses now, I think.
they also do that.
Navy and they do always fall out. Navy and Army are good wins.
But looking at the rest of it, Purdue, Miami of Ohio, Stanford,
Got USC this weekend.
Georgia Tech was without Haynes King. I learned the hard way on that one because I bet on it.
Yeah, I mean, if they gotta, they don't have to, but it would be nice to see them rough up USC.
I mean, who's Penn State's best win? Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
probably.
I mean, they beat Penn State, or they beat USC barely.
Right.
Like they pulled that out last
and
minute.
obviously, who's Indiana's best win?
Nobody.
Right.
So I mean, we're stuck in a year that like now it's back to what I said. Do we have 12 good teams?
Yes.
To fill up a
Yeah,
fucking
but,
playoff?
No,
good.
we don't have 12 good teams, but it makes it fun.
Yeah, and
Everyone's flawed.
to not leave the SEC out. Texas also has no good wins.
Yes.
So it's like it just
Everyone's flawed. It's
yeah,
great.
This is a flawed year. It's going to be.
But there's really
pure chaos.
only 3 teams that can
And you
win
know
it all.
what? Last year was a flawed ass year too.
But
Even with just 4 teams last year. It was
Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia. That's your natty.
yeah, it's one of those 3, I think.
same. By the way, this fucking UMass game, Division II school for Georgia.
Well, no, independent FBS.
They're Division 1.
Division 1.
Are they?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they had 226 yards rushing against Georgia at home, which is fucking concerning there. So I know they won 59-21, but at one point I turned this on. It was 31-21. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? And then Georgia turned it up after that.
Kirby's kind of like Saban, where like teams he's supposed to smash, he lets them get theirs.
Okay. Texas versus Kentucky this weekend. Turned that off at halftime. It was 24-7. Penn State was able to hang on, just survive for Penn State, and then get a home game. You get a home game on December 20th. When I was watching that Browns game on Thursday nights, which was fucking awesome, by the way. Holy shit, what a fucking blessing of a Thursday night game to watch Jameis in the fucking snow up there. You get a fucking team up to Pennsylvania, December 20th. Good fucking luck. I don't know. I don't care who it is. That's going to be awful.
You know a team nobody wants to face right now that should represent the Big 12 because I think they are the best.
Arizona State.
No, the best team in the Big 12 right now is your Kansas Jayhawks.
Three straight
They're
ranked.
5-4 though.
They're not getting in.
They're
But
5-6.
Or 5-6.
Yeah.
They've lost 6 games.
They have to be kicking themselves. Like this was theirs for the taking.
I mean,
Easily.
BYU looked good for a while.
BYU stinks.
and then
Yeah,
they
they're not good.
fucking stink.
I mean, they beat
man.
SMU.
Yeah.
And what game? Third
Week
game
2,
of the season.
I think. Week 2.
Boise State struggled against Wyoming.
Hey, you don't just walk into Laramie. All right.
Spooky place.
No, you've got to take 8 fucking planes to get there.
Yeah, it's a really
you
wild
do.
place to get to.
2-hour bus ride. Fucking sucks going up there.
Yeah. Let's go through the rest of this here. Ole Miss at Florida. Ole Miss
All right.
loses another one.
Let's talk about it because
committee.
I've been trying to say this for a while. This is Lane's ceiling. He is a 10-win coach at best. He's not really
pretty good for Ole Miss.
I know it is.
Yes.
I don't know that Ole Miss knows that. I know Ole Miss doesn't know that because, like I've said before, Ole Miss has this weird thing where they don't realize they're like the Chicago Cubs of the SEC, where they are a storied franchise, but they're not good. They just have the Grove is like Wrigley Field. They just have this historic setting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
But they've never been good.
It's hard to get there too. Like,
Yeah,
when
yeah. You gotta go.
fly
You gotta
in.
fly into a different state. You gotta
Yes.
fly into Memphis.
Yep.
What's the biggest city in Mississippi? Jackson?
Yeah.
And that's not even 1 million people.
Yeah.
No, and
there's nothing
you're
in
still
Mississippi.
got to commute. Like there's no directs.
I mean,
They
this
do
is-
have the fat. I think Jackson is the fattest city in the country.
That makes sense.
it makes
that's
sense. It's all
nice.
deep fried
With a-
shit.
With a PH or
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not 1998.
That's peak Americana. It's just McDonald's, Burger
Yeah.
King, Wendy's, wherever
Well,
you
I don't
go.
want to hear that shit because all Donald Trump has been eating nothing but McDonald's for 60 years.
And he's fat.
And he's the president of the United
Yeah,
States.
but he is fat.
He's like
But
our
his energy level is higher than mine, which is nuts.
he's truly our first fat president since Taft.
He's not actually
He's a
fat,
revolutionary.
though. Like the way his body, he is fat.
He's
but
fat.
He's fat.
It's like
He's fat.
He's fat the same way. You ever seen that shirtless picture of Elon where all the fat is up here, but it's not down? It's not saggy.
Right.
What is that? Is that like
He's
a fucking
sucking in.
quado? What the fuck is
He's
that? No,
sucking in.
It's like a quado, dude.
This is just Trump. The way he walks, you can tell it's not hanging down here. It's like a high pregnancy.
Well, first off, you don't know what he's wearing under those suits.
that's true. It could be
Yeah.
a girdle. Yeah.
There could be. They're literally. He's vain enough to wear a girdle.
Oh yeah. Big time.
if that's what's powering him to do 3 fucking rallies a day, though, sign me up.
That's
Jesus
fine. I mean,
Christ.
meth isn't good for you either, but it'll keep you going.
Yeah, that's true. If I
Well,
could stay,
you're right.
If it's 78,
You
I'm
love
able to
cocaine.
stay awake for 18 hours a day. Then whatever I'm doing is working.
Well, the thing is, the body is a battery, and you only have so much energy you can expend before you die. And that's what Donald Trump believes, and that's why he doesn't work out.
Maybe.
it's a waste of time. I got
It
shit
is.
to do.
Yeah, like professional bowlers.
But yeah, Lane. This is just, and Lane still should be the coach in perpetuity for Ole Miss. But
Yeah.
it's just like
I agree.
This is his ceiling. Like and it sucks because last year they would have been a playoff team.
I'm sure Napier was a little, geared up, hearing all the rumors like Lane was going to take his job.
Oh, he
yeah.
sure the fuck was, dude. He was playing like this was his Super Bowl,
by
which
the
it
way-
was. It was. He might have saved his job.
Napier's getting a little hot.
Oh, yeah, Napier saved his job.
He might have just saved his job because they're bowl eligible now. They're winning,
And
and
with,
they just beat a number 9 team in the country.
They
at
have
home.
a promising quarterback in Lagway. So, he's going to get another year.
That's what I think,
he
too.
He pulled what I call the Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Now we all remember last year, and they finally won a natty, but he was mediocre for years. And the first part of the season would be shit, and then
He was always a 10-win coach, though.
He's sold his soul.
yeah,
for,
he won
for that title.
Certainly did, yes. He would win 10 games, sure, but
Lose to Ohio State.
there would be close games.
And then he lost to Ohio
that
State.
shouldn't be close games, and 7 years in a row he lost to Ohio State. But he would win 10, so they kept him.
Yeah.
Right? And then finally he was like, well, I better do something because this isn't going to last forever, and he cheated.
We're just going to be in a weird era where the SEC is going to beat up on each other, and coaches are going to get fired for losing 3 or 4 games. It's
Yeah.
like,
But you
this is-
can't.
I don't know, though.
And if you're Ole Miss, you cannot get rid of Lane Kiffin because there is no one else out there.
If with all this chaos, 4 teams still get into the CFP from SEC, nothing will change.
Oh, 4
it'll change the way that we look at wins and losses inside the SEC.
I think 4 get in because the Big 12 is for sure a 1 bid league. Right?
It should
That
be
is-
0.
It should be. It
won't-
should be
it
0.
won't be.
And the ACC, it won't be a 1 bid league, but it should be. The problem is that SMU is going to win, and then your 2nd and 3rd place teams are going to be name brands that.
Clemson or Miami. And
Yeah, but Clemson's going to get smoked by South Carolina, I think, and they're not going to make it.
I agree. I
But
think
Miami can lose that game and still make it.
yes, and they probably will because
Probably,
it's
'cause
only
it's a
2
huge
losses,
brand,
and
yeah.
even though their schedule's ass, it's Miami.
And they haven't been. It is Miami, and they haven't really been on the national stage since the early 2000s. Like not like this, anyways.
Yeah.
With a prime player,
And-
so they're gonna throw them in.
And
there
by
for
the
sure.
way, you want to talk about a team that's going to get butt fucked in the snow because it will be a road game for them if they
Yeah.
play.
For who?
For
Miami.
yeah.
Miami.
Oh, God.
Has Cam ever played in snow before?
I mean, yeah,
Where's he
because
from?
he went to Washington State.
He went to
But I think he
Washington
went
State.
to Miami specifically to play in warmer weather.
He did,
I
yeah.
believe that was the reason.
Yeah, but he's definitely played in, like, elements.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he didn't like it.
Let's see how good he is in those elements.
Didn't want to do it anymore.
Auburn beats A&M in one of the funnest games in the weekend, 4 overtimes
Yeah.
there. And
That was tough for homeboy that dropped the ball.
Oh,
the lights
God.
go out and they storm the field. I'm like, he's going to get stomped
he is going to get killed.
because he's, like, just laying down in agony. And he's
Oh, he
gotta
came
say
from
that-
Incarnate Word. That's in fucking San Antonio.
What? That's where he started.
Cam Ward. That he played his first 2 years at that weird.
like JUCO situation.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
I didn't know
That's
that.
wild.
That's down in San Antonio. I used to live near this place.
Auburn needs to have more respect for itself, though. Rushing the field against a 15th ranked team, like it just.
A&M could still win the SEC.
They have nothing to live
It's
for in
not
Auburn.
a good enough win to rush the field.
They have nothing
Just
to live.
for
They have
them.
nothing to live for.
I've won a natty in my lifetime. Like you have some self-respect.
But it's been how many years since they've been like a legitimate contender?
What was it? 06 when they won?
No, they won in 10.
Or 10,
They
yeah,
made
okay.
it again in 13.
With
They lost
Gus.
to Jameis.
Yeah.
Oh, Cam. That's right. Yeah. in
Yeah,
10.
Cam Newton.
Cam in 10, and then they lost. They made it to the natty again in 13.
was that with Nick Marshall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
That's
mean,
soon.
pretty recent.
That's too recent to be storming the field.
Over against the 15th ranked team. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe a top 5 win against
Sorry
a real
you
rival.
hate fun, dude. Are you talking yourself into a path for Mizzou at this point?
We'll see how this weekend shakes
Oh
out.
no, let's just not. Let's not do that.
No, we're not doing that. Next up was Colorado.
What do we tell you?
God, they got fucking smoked. Yeah, I figured, right? So this one I actually won and it was fine, but
This game wasn't even close.
no, it was never close. And it's just here's my gripe with Travis Hunter. And like, you want to flash the Heisman pose 3 times? Awesome. You lost. You were down by 3 touchdowns. Like,
Yep. Now
what do you do?
They got it to with 1 score, I believe, like in the third.
that's against Kansas. Hey, they got it to within 1 score against Kansas. They only have
Kansas, dude.
2 of the top 5 Heisman
They couldn't
contenders.
stop them. Their
No.
defense could not
stop them all game.
And by the way, did
Well,
you
they
guys
couldn't.
see?
They couldn't stop Devin Neal specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neal was
207 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Which
out of
is,
that
by
kid.
the way, not as good as Saquon Barkley did this weekend. We'll get to that later.
Did you see Shador shove a ref?
Yes.
Yeah.
How is he not suspended for the rest of the year for that?
No.
He shoved a ref in the back.
This guy,
Nobody said a fucking word.
Cannot wait for him to just eat shit in the NFL. I was a little warming up on him just because, like, all right, he's playing well, but like, fuck this.
I'm not on his side. He's starting
Fuck
to
this
feel like
asshole.
If he comes in with that attitude in the NFL, he's going to get his shit pushed in.
Yeah.
Big time.
he's starting to remind me of Caleb Williams, where I'm like, I'm fucking done with your bullshit.
Yeah.
now. And
Entitlement is never a good thing.
no, and he should be suspended the rest of the year. I've never seen a player push a ref in the back like that.
Yeah, in the back too.
Yes, the ref didn't even see him.
Well, I mean, look, if you can get away with
He
it.
was asking for it.
No, he got a flag. He got a flag for it, but they got fucking destroyed. They're now out
Get
of
the
it.
fuck out.
Yeah, they're gone,
I know.
dude.
You know who's going to win the Big 12 is like Iowa State. Which is
Are they?
gross.
They won again. They beat Utah by 3.
Look, a 10-2, 11-2 Iowa State that wins the Big 12 is in the playoff.
It's gross.
It's gross, dude. It's absolutely fucking gross.
We
But-
got to pull for Arizona State.
But they probably are the fifth seed or whatever.
I mean,
No,
I,
no,
Not
they're
the
not even-
seed, but the.
I want Arizona State to be in because of all the teams that are over there. Like, what do you want from your lower third seeds? You want somebody that's capable of upsets, and nobody in that group is more capable of upsets than Arizona State.
I want to hear
over the
Cam
past couple of years. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that bullshit.
Yeah, I do.
I don't want to hear that.
I want to hear it.
Man,
don't wanna hear
Gus
it all.
Johnson would make a meal.
Also, they
damn
got
it.
an insanely good wide receiver that could just take over a game in Tyson.
But
Yeah.
imagine Arizona State going to a Penn State on December 20th.
That would be rough.
Be
I
shut.
don't know. I think
Scadabo's a white
Scadabo's
boy.
fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. Yeah, the rest of the team though.
Levitt's fine. Yeah, Tyson would probably torch Penn State's defense. But I don't think Arizona State's defense could probably hold up against Penn State's run game.
I agree.
But there's more. I mean, obviously, there's a bunch of first-round games. They might not
Yeah.
catch that.
South Carolina rolled Wofford, obviously. Missouri versus Mississippi State.
That was getting tight.
That was
huh?
getting tight at halftime
It
there.
was a little tight at halftime. Look at the time of possession, though. It was like 42-18.
But
We
they're-
completely rolled them.
They're realistically out, right? There's no shot for them
Yeah,
to get in.
Mississippi
take-
State has no chance.
Yeah.
Missouri.
It would take something so insane that it's not worth discussing.
Because it would have to be like 11 different scenarios.
Yeah. It would be like the type of thing, if you hit that parlay, you just
Yeah,
retire.
but you could.
yeah, you could.
It
It
takes-
Keeps me
so
coming
there's-
back every week.
I know.
It'll take some
know.
stuff that I think is going to happen anyway, like Vandy beating Tennessee and South Carolina would have to like lose to Clemson and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
but
there's
then
other stuff that gets-
LSU would have to lose to Oklahoma. Alabama would have to lose as well.
That's
to
Auburn.
Auburn.
It's
There's
But hey,
a million
man,
things that need to happen.
Look, you
been
know,
a crazy year.
Yeah.
And also,
Look, if,
I will
if,
say
if
this.
Bama lost to Oklahoma, why couldn't they lose to Auburn?
I would love to see. Yeah, I know. I would love to see where Missouri ends up in the CFP this week, because that'll be the best gauge of any.
They love you guys.
They keep us ranked,
And-
unlike the fake news
well,
media.
we'll
Yeah.
see it. When are we going to do college
So
football
we're
this
going to
week?
switch. I'm going to talk to Derek after the show. We're going to switch it to Wednesday because we need those rankings more than ever now.
Yeah.
Because those we will live and die on. So we'll do NFL tomorrow and then swap.
Well, if he can't
college
do NFL,
football.
we'll just have him on college.
Either way. I'm
He
sure
played college football.
he can do both.
He played a little bit of it, yeah.
Yeah, a tiny bit. And then last but not least here, just because it's our little Hard AF team and the Hard AF Seltzer effect, Illinois was hanging in there. It's number 25. I was worried about the boys. They were down 31-30. There was 7 seconds left, and they lined up for a 58-yard field goal into gale force winds. Now, Schiano for Rutgers calls a timeout and says, hey, let's kind of reevaluate this, ice the kicker. Illinois then says, you know what? I think this is too far and we can't make it. Let's throw a Hail Mary.
Do you think that Illinois was ever planning on kicking that ball, or were they going to run a fucking fake?
No, they were lined up.
I know, but were they going to
Could've been a
fake it?
fake,
Because
yeah.
who the fuck is going to do that?
Who's
They
got
were
a
lined
50,
up for it. It was the last. I mean, there's
Who's
the
got a
last
guy
second.
on their roster hit a 58-yarder in the
Not
wind?
into
Yeah,
the wind.
Not into the wind.
There's no fucking
But
body
then they
on
brought
earth that
the
could do
offense
that.
back out there and they threw a fucking Hail Mary and got it and stunned the nation. It was fucking awesome, dude. So congratulations to
Dozens
those guys.
of people
But-
witnessed it.
I know. I was the only one watching it, but I loved it.
And then
congratulations.
one of the biggest games of the week, an unranked game, the late night game.
Yeah, this
Colorado State goes
huge
down to
implications.
Fresno State. Huge college playoff
Because
football
now
implications.
we are
Why?
getting UNLV Boise rematch.
Because
Oh, you are
if
gonna
Colorado
get it.
State did one out, they would have been in the Mountain West Championship over UNLV because they have 3 losses, but had 3 losses. None of them were in the Mountain West.
Okay.
So they were ahead of UNLV in the standings.
Yeah, and Colorado State would have gotten their shit pushed
they would
all
have
the way
gotten
into their
fucking
body.
destroyed.
So
dude.
now, if everyone holds serve, it'll
Boise,
be
UNLV.
Boise, UNLV.
Okay.
For the playoff, honestly.
For
Yeah.
the playoff. No, that is for the playoff. I do not think an American team's going to get in.
So let's look at start times here for next week because obviously we're all going away for Thanksgiving and everything else, and then we'll do the sponsors right afterwards. This is a question for you too because you guys follow this more than we do. Memphis versus Tulane on Thursday nights. What are the implications of that?
That matters. I think Tulane does have a path.
Yeah.
Because they've been rolling everybody. If they beat the shit out of Memphis and then Army, they could honestly, and Boise loses, they probably get the playoff
You
spot
could
every-
get 2 G5 bids.
It's on Thanksgiving night.
I think they hop UNLV.
By the way, it's on Thanksgiving night, by the way.
Yeah, this is a great that there are playoff implications. It's not a guarantee that Tulane would get in if they win the American, but
Yeah.
Tulane, I think, is the only.
I mean, rankings-wise, they're ahead of UNLV.
Tulane's
Yeah.
only losses are
Behind Boise,
Oklahoma
obviously.
and Kansas State.
Yes, one at home, one on the road.
Yeah.
And that Oklahoma loss looks better.
But if South
Okay.
Carolina beats Clemson, it's unlikely that Tulane will hop them, no matter what they do.
All
honest.
Tulane needs to do is be the 5th highest ranked conference champion.
Oh yeah, if they win the conference, I suppose.
Yeah, they just got to beat Memphis and Army and
Yep.
hope UNLV beats Boise.
Yeah.
Okay. Friday games. This is the day after Thanksgiving. These are always a blast. Also, they're doing a Black Friday game on the NFL as well, which we'll get to after the break.
They moved the Egg Bowl.
They did.
Which is blasphemous.
So they moved the Egg Bowl to today, but we'll go Oregon State versus Boise. Boise somehow loses that. Are they out?
No, well, yes, but they're not going to.
I know they're not, but
That's not even a conference game.
no.
No, but it's just it would affect the ranking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tulane should be
it would
rooting
push
for
them down. Yeah.
Tulane should be rooting for Oregon State.
But it's
certainly.
Oregon State on the road. They're not winning that game.
No, I don't think so.
Not one
They're not good
prayer.
this year.
Not on the Smurf turf. They're not winning that.
The other game at noon is Oklahoma State at Colorado. Colorado is no shot
done.
anymore.
No,
They're
this
done.
game doesn't matter
Okay.
anymore.
Okay.
I mean, when they scheduled it, it made sense. 'Cause
Colorado still has a path to the championship game.
But they're not gonna.
How?
They win and they need some losses.
Okay.
They need, I think, Iowa State to lose.
Iowa State and BYU
And
probably.
BYU.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Which is
Not-
possible, but
so let
wouldn't
me
count on
ask this: if that does not happen, then I'm assuming Shadur and Hunter. This is their
They sit out.
last
they're
game.
not playing a bowl game.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
they're
way.
out. Okay.
No.
So if you're a fan of them, go see him because this will probably be your last shot
$93
to do it.
Travis
93
Hunter
bucks.
still the Heisman?
DrinkerBrosTickets.com.
He had a ton of yards and two
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
He was great. It wasn't his fault, but
Well, he plays defense too, so
but he's only one guy. Like,
Yeah.
He's a corner. It's not like he got burned. It was just
Yeah.
they ran down their throat.
I mean, Genti
Right.
now has 2,062 yards and 27 touchdowns. If Boise makes the playoff, I think he wins.
I think you might be right. They give
now
him the
now
edge.
that fucking Hunter's out, but who knows, man? Who knows? They'll both be in New York for sure.
Yeah.
I think
We'll
so.
see. I mean,
and then
it's
it'll be him, Gabriel,
Cam Ward, Gabriel,
Cam Ward. Yeah.
somebody else.
That's
One
four.
fifth one. I think
They're
there's
trying to make a push for Will Howard right now, but I don't think so.
Howard's kind of been really good.
He's
low-key.
been great this year. I have zero complaints about him. Next up is the Egg Bowl. So that's 3:30 game. Nothing there, right?
no spread on that game even.
Not yet.
No, there won't be.
Yeah, there will be.
Mississippi State is real bad.
No, they're terrible.
It'll
but
be like
it'll be like
35.
35.
It'll be big.
Well, don't bet that.
But is there any implications in that game?
No.
Can Ole Miss still get in?
Ole Miss needs to win.
Yeah.
I mean, they can win,
they will.
but I don't. Technically, if
Yes,
five
Ole
teams
Miss-
from the SEC make it, Ole Miss will be one.
Like
of
if
them.
you're a 3-loss SEC team, you just need chaos.
Here's the thing, though. Ole Miss has good wins, but also at least one bad loss.
They have 2 bad losses.
what's
Kentucky and at Florida.
if Ole Miss wins, they're playing. I mean, who cares about Mississippi State? And South Carolina beats Clemson, who's ranked 12th. South Carolina's getting in before Ole Miss.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
Ole Miss beat South Carolina. They got
I know.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
But it's not a matter of that anymore. It's not. This isn't a hard or
What's even
fast
a
rule.
point of
It's
anything?
about.
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately?
expanded to 14.
The night game here is super interesting because this game was always on Saturday night. They've moved it to Friday night. It is Georgia Tech at Georgia.
Oh, also,
Georgia Tech has been feisty all year. There's
Yeah,
a
but-
shot.
it's at Mercedes-Benz.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's in Athens.
It's in Athens.
It is? Are
Yes.
you sure?
Positive.
Yep.
I thought they moved this game to Mercedes-Benz.
They usually do, but for this year, don't really know why. Georgia didn't have a lot of home games this year. It was strange.
Georgia's going to win. Maybe they
well,
don't
all their
cover.
neutral site games are home games.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
It just lets all the alumni go.
Well, it's still a 2-hour drive for the students. I mean, you gotta.
Yeah, but they're just you go to any Georgia game in Mercedes-Benz, it's 90% Georgia.
Correct.
Yeah.
Also,
well, it's no. I don't. They set aside tickets for Georgia Tech students. Sure, I think it's what is it like 500 seats or something like that for the student section.
Cool.
The lowest price you can pay for a ticket right now in Athens for this game is $4,400.
Yeah.
So
No idea why.
Georgia Tech fans that live in and around Atlanta are not driving down and paying $5,000 to watch that team play. That ain't happening.
It's one of those things where it's a Friday night game in Athens. They win. They're in the title game. Like, people are fucking amped for it. Michigan, Ohio State, tons of implications on that one. That is at noon.
I mean, the
it is now up to
implications-
21 now. That's spread for Ohio State.
Ohio
I
State's
kind
not
of don't
losing
think there's that many implications on that game. No.
Well, if
You're
Ohio
in
State
either
loses.
way.
If Ohio State
but
loses.
if there's implications, I guess, for Ohio State potentially getting a bye.
You're
but
still in.
You
You're in
still
either
wanna
way.
buy, though.
Yeah,
I
get
think you
that.
still wanna buy.
I get that, but that's not going to affect. I guess the implications would just be downstream.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you get an upset pulled on you guys by Michigan, you missed the Big Ten championship. You're still getting in over Indiana.
Oh,
You're still
100%.
getting in.
Yeah, and then to be honest, Indiana might not get in because they're going to get beat so bad by Oregon Like, honestly.
If it were to
if
happen,
Indiana if Indiana had
Ohio
to go
State were
play
to happen to
Oregon,
lose, yeah.
that would be a bad thing for them.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree. Tennessee at Vanderbilt is also at noon. Fuck you guys.
Vandy money line.
All day, I think.
Why not? I mean, that's going to be the best value you get on this game because Hypo certainly could blow them out, but fucking.
You can find some value on the next one too.
South Carolina.
No, but that's
Clemson, dude.
only 2.5.
I know, but
South
the fact that
Carolina
you get plus money
Clemson
on
is at noon. All these games are at noon, which fucking sucks.
I mean, I'm definitely taking South Carolina money line in that game.
Yeah.
Like, no question.
Yeah.
Clubfoot is not good.
UTSA Army's out, correct?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have no path.
But
Illinois.
they'll crush UTSA.
Penn State against Maryland. That is at home. They're fine. They're favored by 25.
Don't even bother betting that.
You're good.
There's a good chance
All
Penn
right.
State doesn't play in the second half.
Let's get to the 3:30 game. Notre Dame at USC.
Notre Dame is going to rock USC.
I don't know.
At this point, though, Notre Dame loses, they might still get in.
With 2 losses, I think
Yeah.
you're right.
Because like everyone just keeps losing.
Yes.
I mean,
I think you're
So
right. They're
Notre Dame
probably
could go
in.
from like a 5 to an 11.
As bad,
Yeah.
as bad as it is, that loss to Northern Illinois is a blip loss. That's not like, oh, they played fucking a hard, tough game and got their ass kicked against a better conference rival or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they lost to Northern Illinois. Nobody gives a fuck about that game.
Yeah.
Happened
Nobody
too
cares.
long ago.
Yeah.
Even though it's literally the worst loss. It will be the worst loss of any playoff team.
Oh, yeah, by far.
By a lot.
Iron Bowl's on at 3:30.
That's
Really?
pretty
That's
normal.
Why?
normal.
No,
Yeah.
it was usually the night game.
No,
Remember
it ends
the kick
at night.
six?
It
Oh,
ends
yeah,
at
yeah,
night.
yeah.
But
Kick
it's-
6 was afternoon, yeah.
Yeah, it ends at like 7.
I was after I get out of that barbecue joint. Yeah, it was like 7:05. You're
Yeah.
right.
But it's already dark out, so.
It was one of those games you never forget where you were when that play happened. You were like, holy fucking shit.
Upset alert on this next one.
Yeah, 3:30 Miami, Syracuse.
It's they don't have the weather. Let's see, Syracuse.
No, it's a
It's
dome.
indoor. It's a dome.
It's a dome.
Oh, that's right.
I met with those guys. So yeah, that's not a guarantee.
It was a dome that didn't have air conditioning for a while.
Long time.
Named after an air conditioning company.
The Carrier Dome.
What do you need that for?
Next up, Syracuse could win that game for sure.
Oh, yeah. Kyle McCord going out
Yes.
on
They
his
absolutely
sword.
could.
He's trying to get drafted
No, he's got one more
in
year.
the 7th round.
Yeah, he's got one more year.
I think everyone
coming back.
does, right? Like with all the COVID shit. You just,
COVID's running out. There's not that many left.
Cam technically still does, but I don't think he's going to stay.
Yeah.
That would be a mistake.
He'll be a senior, so McCord will definitely come back. There's no draft prospect there. Cal against SMU, any possibility there? No?
No.
The only thing it could affect is if the SMU lost that game. They're in the championship already, like they've clinched it. But if SMU lost that game, then they would. There's no chance that they would get at-large bid if they lost the ACC
right.
championship.
They still can lose the ACC championship and
get
like,
an at-large bid.
Maybe.
Their only loss is to BYU, which is not.
And then Miami or Clemson. So
Yeah.
And also, again, I don't think championship game losses are going to be held to the same standard as a regular season loss. That you can only get punished so much for being forced to play an extra game.
Yeah. Arizona State at Arizona. Obviously, that's a huge game there. Arizona State needs to win this game.
Yes. And they should shit pump Arizona.
That's another game that's on at 3:30. Arkansas at Missouri.
Be a good game.
Yes, it will be a good game. Mizzou's only
Pig
favored by
Suey.
3.5
Yeah,
there.
I got
Arkansas is
Arkansas.
another team that goes over to the Big Ten. They're probably one of those top 4 or 5 teams.
Fifth.
this year.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
For
No,
sure.
I think they're better than
you
Indiana.
think. They're better than you
Yeah, I
think.
think they're
are.
better. Probably not better than Penn State, but better than Indiana for sure.
Purdue at Indiana. Obviously, that's a game they have to win. That's a night game. Washington at Oregon.
Dude, if Purdue wins this game,
Boilermakers, let's go.
if I swear to God, dude,
They're so bad. They're 1-10.
I know, but
I know that Indiana would be for sure out.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I
So
don't
they
care.
lost to a
I don't
1-10
care if
Purdue.
they're
Yeah.
I don't care if they're a 2-loss team. I would put every 3-loss SEC team in over Indiana.
Yeah, I agree. Washington and Oregon is after that. All right, the night game is Texas A&M. That makes sense.
Washington and Oregon is a shitty game. But
It is.
I still got the Aggies here.
Yep.
I think they're going to beat
Same.
Texas.
No.
Same. And now they need it. They always needed it, but now they really
need it.
Texas
fucking
don't.
need it.
Texas loses. They're still
Texas
in.
doesn't need it.
Texas doesn't need it. If A&M wins this game, A&M is into the playoffs. They beat the number 3 team in the country.
What's that line? Because I am hammering
6.
A&M.
6.
Yeah, money line.
Texas -6.
Oh, yeah. A&M money line. No question. I don't think – look, I get everyone's like, oh, yeah, it's a rivalry game. It's a renewed rivalry game. You do not understand what is coming. These people are psychopaths.
Yeah, up in
These
A&M.
people are fucking lunatics. Those cheerleaders dress the way they do because it's an insane asylum, and they are orderlies.
They haven't played in 10 years.
It
No.
is going to be fucking bonkers.
Didn't we send a
Hard AF
pallet
is
of Hard AF up
sponsoring
there?
like fucking 9 parties
Yeah.
up there. So like,
I think we sent
have
like a full
fun.
pallet, which is 100 cases.
Jesus Christ, man! It's gonna
Somebody's
be
gonna die, not from us
not
necessarily.
from us, but I mean it'll be all jacked up on 8%.
I just mean
going into
I mean
a
at the
night
game. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna get rowdy as hell up there.
Please
now that
stop.
shit that happened. Here's the funniest narrative about all that. That shit had happened in Texas where the fans are throwing shit onto the field. Like, we could see a replay of that in the opposite
I
direction
could see
in this
them
game.
burning the whole place down.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
The A&M fans, you mean?
They
And then-
are. This is like the biggest game.
This is their Super Bowl.
in the history of this rivalry.
100%.
Wow.
And it's been so long. And the tickets, by the way, stop messaging me, please. They're $9,000. There's nothing we can do about it. Like
Yeah, it's
this
$550 is a little
for the
small.
last row in the stadium, dude. Like that's
Yeah.
fucking nuts.
looking
It
at
would
the
be
next-
very Texas to get beat by A&M here and then A&M go on a run in the playoff.
Yeah.
That would be very
They would have to beat
University
Georgia
of
too, but-
Texas.
Honestly, if Texas gets blown out, fuck them. They're not gonna get left out, but leave them out.
They're not going to. It's too big of a brand.
Yeah.
And
I
they've been
know.
number 3 in the nation all year.
I know.
There's nothing you can do
They're
about
fine.
it.
But if they get run out of the stadium,
I don't think that's going to happen either.
They were also in the
I think
playoff
this is a
last
very,
year.
very close game, probably.
They were in the playoff last year.
I know.
Yeah.
So they probably should have won the championship.
Yeah.
Well, Washington.
There's still a path for Colorado. You got Kansas State.
Well, so that's the next one. Kansas State, Iowa State. What's the implications there? Who needs
if
to
Iowa
lose?
State loses
Big.
and BYU loses to Houston, which is unlikely at this
Colorado
point,
will get in.
Colorado would get in. But BYU probably won't lose to Houston.
If Iowa State wins, are they in then?
Yes.
Is
To the
Iowa State
championship
in
game?
I mean, they're
Big
in the championship
anyway?
game, yeah.
Okay.
No, they got to. If
They only have
lose-
one Big 12 loss, right? Didn't it? Or do they have two?
No, they've got two.
What about
Okay.
Kansas State? If they beat Iowa State,
No,
what happens to
Kansas
them?
State's nothing.
They're out?
Yeah, Kansas State is out already. They already lost 3.
Nevada, UNLV.
Yeah, game
Are they in?
implications. UNLV needs to win. This is a playoff game for
UNLV's got to
UNLV.
get into the Mountain West Championship.
Nevada's feisty.
Okay.
Nevada is feisty. That's going to be a game if you want some fun late night shit.
If
All
that
right.
line's bigger than 7, I would take Nevada.
It's 17.5.
Oh, I would take Nevada.
Yep. Yeah, I think this is going to be
Nevada.
a tight game.
Okay.
Nevada.
And then Houston at BYU. Is BYU done?
No, they win.
They win
and
this
Iowa
game
State
and they're
loses,
in.
They're in.
Yeah.
And Iowa State could easily lose.
They could easily lose to Kansas State.
Yeah,
So-
Kansas State is been okay this year. I mean, honestly.
K-
The
I mean,
last
K-State's been
3
a
years,
massive
really.
disappointment this year.
Yeah, I mean, but they've
that
But
kid's
yeah,
young.
it's-
That quarterback's young.
it's an unranked game, but they could very easily be ranked, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of serious games this weekend.
Either way, Thursday through fucking Saturday night, it's just nonstop, dude. Bangers. Dan and I, again, will be live for the Ohio State-Michigan game, and then we'll have the other ones going on in a quad so we can keep up with the rest of them.
Yeah, we'll also have a quad in studio.
Yes.
Or we'll have to cripple somebody here, I guess.
No, we'll
It's
find
part
a
of our-
full fucking quad.
It's
out
part of
there
our
somewhere.
contract with my bookie. We have to have a quad
quadriplegic
on
in
site
here
somewhere.
He'll just be
Yeah.
rolled up right there.
They're not ethical people.
Not at all.
Hey, look, relax. all right?
Not at all.
Special guest, Governor Abbott.
Great.
Break his arms. He's halfway there.
Fuck yeah,
we'll
dude.
get him. We'll get him.
That'll be great.
I'll throw a
dude.
tree at him or
Yeah.
something.
So if you're around on Saturday and want to come in and have some hard AF and watch it with us, feel free. We'll get to the sponsors real quick and then switch on over to the NFL. First up, obviously, mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin' Bros doubles that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Man, you want to get off the couch and get into the action like I always say on this fucking show? This is the best fucking weekend to do it for. I mean, we just read off that slate of college games. We haven't even sniffed the NFL yet. Tons of bangers to bet on. And if you believe in some of the money lines that we're taking here on the show, and we'll get into that more, obviously, on the college football show on Wednesday, there's going to be a lot of upsets, I think, this weekend. And you have the opportunity to make a shit ton of money. Well, but let's say you lost a shit ton of money like I did on Saturday, Bob. What happens?
You get a rake back if you're in
did.
the MyBookie Plus rewards program,
Yeah, I got one.
which if you're a regular player, you're in it. It's really cool. You get a lot of points for making different bets and stuff like that. And then the rake back is one of the many benefits. And basically what it is, you have a bad weekend, they'll toss you a little money back so you can keep feeling alive, basically.
Yeah. Do you know what I did yesterday, which is the most junkiest shit of all time?
What'd you do?
I took, because I didn't bet the NFL and I didn't post it because I got killed on Saturday. So I took one. MyBookie offers a 13-point teaser if you do 4 teams. And I could win if tonight's game comes through for me. I forget who that NFL game is. And that would be
It's Chargers Ravens.
Chargers Ravens, and that would be my my only win for the weekend there. Yeah, I've jacked up the Ravens on that one.
Yeah.
But that would be my only win for the weekend. It was such a gross bet that I didn't even want to share it because I was embarrassed about it, and at least I'm admitting it to you on air. However, tonight I will be using my rakebacks and using it on tonight's game. You will see bets tonight in Drinkin' Bros Sports on Facebook. If you're not a member, subscribe. It is a private group. Now, in my bookie, you just got to use that promo code Drinkin' Bros to double that first deposit up to $1,000. Shit ton of prop bets, all that other stuff, man. I was fucking banging it this weekend trying to chase the dragon, okay? Next up is drinkinbrostickets.com. If you want tickets to any of these games other than Texas at Texas A&M, please don't ask anymore. I can't. There's nothing I can do about that. If you got in, you're one of those maniacs, have fun up there. But we're not going, and because we're doing the gig here for my bookie, and you guys have fun up there and drink that hard AF properly. But you can get tickets super cheap for a lot of these fucking games, man. I mean, tickets to Tulane. If you're down there at Tulane, they're $4 just to go in and watch a fucking fun game, root for your team, and get fucked up on Thanksgiving nights. A lot of the NFL tickets are pretty cheap for Thanksgiving as well. So, yeah, go to drinkinbrostickets.com. Anything you can imagine, concerts, rodeos, college football, minor league games, you name it, we got it on there. And it's about $10 cheaper than StubHub. Last but not least, we got hardafseltzer.com. All right, Ohio State, Michigan. We are doing a massive party. The biggest bar in downtown Columbus is the Short North Pint House. Their lines usually start at around 7 a.m. down there for that Ohio State-Michigan game just to get into the bar.
Kegs and eggs, baby.
Exactly. Because it's fucking crazy. It's one of the best times ever. We are sponsoring that party. Hard AF Seltzer will be doing tastings all day there. Fucking 2-for-1s, free booze, all that other crazy shit down in the Short North in Columbus, Ohio. So join us down there for that at the Hard AF Seltzer party there. Again, we're not going to be here. We'll be watching it on the television here with you guys in the picture-in-picture. So we'd agreed to do that in advance. But that'll be a fucking blast. We're live in 12 states right now. HEBs, Total Wines, all the Total Wines across the nation have the brand new flavors. If you see the green apple on the side of the box, there's all the brand new flavors. Got a brand new store locator on hardafseltzer.com. Enter your city or zip. It'll take you to the closest location nearest you. And last but not least, if you want to invest in the company and become an owner of it, reservations are filling up fast on wefunder.com/hardafseltzer. Invest in the company. That way, when you buy it, give it to your friends and neighbors and all that other stuff. At least you own it. We're leaving 30% of the company open to you at wefunder.com/hardafseltzer. All right, let's get to the NFL. Let's start with tonight's game because we just got off of my bookie, and we'll go with the odds for tonight. Great game tonight. Ravens at the Chargers. Harbaugh Bowl again. Been a few years. We knew this was going to happen eventually, and here we are here tonight. This is Baltimore -2.5. Over under 50.5. D'Anthony, who you got?
I already took the Chargers at +3.
Okay. So you're all in on the Chargers. You think the Chargers are going to beat the Ravens tonight?
+3.
Okay. Interesting.
I think it'll be a 1 or 2 point game. I don't know who's going to win.
Okay. Delco.
Yeah, that home crowd for LA is going to be raucous.
Raucous, yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Ravens.
The Ravens. Who you got?
I'll take the Chargers. I'll take the home dog.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I think the Ravens have been a little iffy lately. I think the
Not
Chargers
good on the road
Yeah.
all season.
Chargers are finding their groove.
It's a strange team, man. They should be better than 7-4. It feels like, but yeah, I don't know. But I can't see them going to 7-5. Derrick Henry will have a fucking huge game here. I'm going Ravens tonight.
Chargers defense is top 5 in the league.
I know. And look, the Chargers will grind this game down and muck it up. But that over, I don't know how they get to 50.5 in this tonight. So I might jack that up as well. I'm going to bet this 3 different ways, actually. I'll take the straight up Baltimore -2.5. I'll use my bookie's teasers. Tease that under up to 57.5. And then
I think you're better off taking the Chargers, adding points to the Chargers if you're going to add.
I am. I'm going to go the other way and then take Chargers plus the 9.5. And then that way I can watch the whole game and enjoy my life over there. Speaking of the NFL, we talked about that Snow Bowl game with the Browns and Steelers there.
That was fun.
It was really fun.
Like old school football with a bunch of old school dudes around. I mean, Myles Garrett running around,
ripping people's fucking hearts out.
Chubb running the ball, fucking, I mean, I was watching this game and couldn't.
So much fun.
Couldn't care less who won.
Me neither. It was such a great game.
Yeah.
And
Snowball's the best ball.
the only problem, though, if you're a Steelers fan here, swapping Russell Wilson in and out with Justin Fields, it still feels like they're trying to find a quarterback.
Well, in this game, I probably would have played Fields more than Wilson
To run?
yeah. To be honest, but whatever. I mean,
Listen, Jameis has scalps of the Ravens and the Steelers now. You just got to keep going with Jameis moving forward.
Ride Jameis.
Ride Jameis. Well, they're going to ride him the rest of the year.
they have to.
Yeah, they don't have a choice.
Long-term contract. Get my boy paid.
No. I don't
Yeah,
think that'll
I would
ever
do that.
happen. I don't think.
They have to have Deshaun Watson under contract for 2 more years. The dead cap hit is $90 million.
Right.
So sign Jameis to a fucking team-friendly deal and let it ride.
There are not
You don't
30
have any other options.
Better quarterbacks in the NFL than Jameis.
What are you gonna-
I agree.
I mean, you could pick up Daniel Jones.
No, look, I agree. Well, it's too late for the Browns. Who gives a shit?
I don't
right?
mean for this year. I just mean like
for next year.
for next and the
Yeah,
following.
I mean,
there's
if
2
you're
more
a-
years of dead space in Cleveland.
Yeah.
They have no options.
Yeah.
They got to sign somebody that's competent that isn't going to cost much.
Maybe he signs as a backup there and then hope that Deshaun dies in a car accident or something like that. Like I don't know what they're going to do up there. But yes, I agree. He should be on a team. I don't know where that should be, but at least he's going to have the rest of it. He's going to have 7 more games to prove himself. So fuck it. Next up, Vikings versus the Bears. I don't know how this team continues to keep winning.
Well, they're playing the Bears.
Yeah.
No, I know, but they're 9-2. So when you look at that record at 9-2, I mean they're right there with Detroit, which is fucking nuts to me. Nothing is really impressive about this team. It's strange. They continue to win though.
Winning's all that matters. I mean,
it
the
is.
Chiefs just
Especially in the
barely
NFL.
squeaked one out against the Panthers.
No, did you watch the game?
Yeah,
I
a little
did.
bit.
They did not care again until the last 2 minutes, and then they go, all right, let's play. Then they
Free
drove
agent
94
kicker
yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Won the game.
They do not care.
Hard to question them at this point. Like they seem to be doing it right. Like not exhausting themselves in the regular season. They're just
They took the second half off.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't want to be there anymore.
But what's funny too is that in the past 2 years, 3 years that they've done this, they've lost those games, and they're just other than the Bills game, they were probably actually like trying the whole time or whatever. But they're winning all those games now where they're like sleepwalking through. So they're good to go. Like they don't give a fuck.
No.
They're gonna host another AFC Championship game.
Lions are now 10-1. Vegas odds keep moving higher and higher for the Lions to win the Super Bowl. Love to see it happen. It'd be a fucking blast. I'd love to see Lions against Buffalo. Could you imagine those
It's not
those
gonna
2
happen,
fan
no.
bases?
I like the Lions. I wish nothing but the best for them, except when they play the Eagles.
Oh, your Eagles are coming. Is that,
dude.
is
They
that
look
what you're
good.
implying here?
They look good. They look very
Just-
good.
They're the Lions. Like they.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't shake
Who you
history
are.
and your stigma.
Yep. Yeah. It's like the,
Eagles
Browns.
did.
It's the Mets, right?
Yeah, the Eagles eventually did.
Yeah, you did.
So you did it.
We weren't losers though.
Yeah,
Yes,
you were
were.
losers.
You lost
forever.
like 5 conference championships in a row.
That was Andy Reid.
Vince Papale.
Got to another city and immediately started winning championships.
Exactly.
What's the common denominator there?
The city.
Andy Reid.
No, it's the fucking city itself. You guys had open tryouts with Vince Papale for Christ's
Dude,
sakes.
yeah, and the second we cut him, we made the Super Bowl.
Yeah, losers. Losers. And then you guys turned it around.
Nobody likes Vince Papale.
You're very good. Everyone does.
He was a teacher at Interborough who was a rival high school.
Right.
He sucks.
Yeah, because he's your rival.
He's a
dude.
bum.
Yeah, well, he made the Eagles. So
As a special teams player, and he made like 1 play.
so did Rudy. And he's lived a
And he
whole
was
fucking life.
Rudy
dude.
was offsides.
Sure was.
Yeah.
Rudy
I
was
actually
offsides,
burned that
too.
jersey we had because I looked back at the tape. I'm like, no,
No,
Yeah.
we
we're not
burned it.
honoring you, yeah.
But they're 10-1. Dolphins are starting to turn it around here.
Too late, probably.
That's
but
what I think. They're
No,
5-6.
the bottom of the AFC playoff pool is really bad.
They can go.
bad.
They can get hot and make the wild card
easily
7
easily,
seed.
easily.
Because I mean, they got to catch the Broncos.
Tua had 4 touchdowns in this game.
I mean,
so-
it was the Patriots.
No, I know, but
And
Baker
you guys
Mayfield.
wanted Baker, or you wanted fucking Tua to end his career.
Yeah, I do.
still do.
Because he's going to end his life.
still
if
do.
he keeps playing.
He's fine, dude. He's a gladiator. He's a warrior. What are you
No,
gonna do?
Baker Mayfield's a gladiator.
He sure is.
Because he stays on the field.
Jesus Christ,
That's
man.
how that
And then
works.
he did the Tommy Cutlets
Tua needs
celebration.
to die on the field. I think it's appropriate.
It'd be fun. It'd be a fun story.
Yeah, nobody's writing books about Jesus if he makes it to 80.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
How much is one man's life worth? Just pull the gladiator and carry him off the field over their heads.
Exactly. With the Buccaneers, I don't know if you watched this game because it was awful, but there was a downfield block that Baker ran down the field as his fucking wide receiver was running for 50 yards, and God damn it, dude, I'm really starting to like this guy more week after
yeah,
week.
but also, and then that touchdown he ran in was very impressive as well.
Fuck yeah, dude.
However, the one where he's running downfield to chase his wide receiver, if that speaker's still on in his head and I'm his OC, I'm like, hey, knock that shit off. Not because he's gonna get hurt or anything. Baker doesn't give a fuck about that.
He
He's
threw a
tough.
block downfield.
I know,
and
but
that
it's
he
like-
could have gotten hurt on.
I'm not worried about him getting hurt. I'm like, dude, you gotta fucking save some.
Yeah.
Save some.
He's turning into who I thought Johnny Manziel was going to be, and it turns out that it's Baker.
Well, he was always that guy, and Johnny Manziel was never that guy.
in college. He was.
No, he wasn't.
Both of them were identical in college. Identical, except for homeboy partied more.
Exactly.
So-
One person
Baker
cared,
was-
and
Yeah.
one did not care.
Baker was a walk-on.
Johnny Manziel enjoyed what he got from playing football. Baker Mayfield enjoys playing football.
Yes.
They're very different things.
It is. But as far as their style of play, running around, crazy throws, blocking people,
Mm-hmm.
not giving a shit, throwing your body around, very similar in college. Cowboys versus Redskins.
This didn't
Okay.
surprise me at all.
It did.
Why?
It's Cooper Rush, and the Cowboys have given up on the year.
You don't game plan against Cooper Rush, one, and two. I've been saying this all year. The Redskins' defense sucks. They'll probably still win 10 games, but their defense
That wasn't
is
the
not good.
issue. I wasn't wrong. I was early. Jaden Daniels fucking sucks.
No, he definitely
25
doesn't.
of 38, 275 and 2 TDs.
Yeah, that's a good
He's
game.
fine.
Dude, they were all garbage time touchdowns. Come on.
No.
Come on. That yardage, he sucks.
He's
Fucking blows. Jaden Daniels.
He's pretty fucking good. but
7 carries, 74 yards, another touchdown.
Another L.
Yeah.
Take that L, dude.
but it's a shocking loss.
They'll win 10 games if they make it into the playoffs, which I think they probably will. They're going to get crushed because their defense is bad.
Yeah.
We're at the point in the season now where bad defenses are getting exposed, and they're one of them.
Yes.
I mean, you remember they had a fire sale last year.
Yep.
On their defense, they got rid of everybody.
So with the Chiefs game here, the only thing that saved me was a 13-point teaser. This was a fucking 10.5-point spread, and again,
Yeah, it was 11.
did it close at
early,
11?
later in the week, it was 11.
Oh, did you not have all your teasers ruined by the fucking Texans?
I did not, luckily.
Yeah,
because
gotcha.
I got burned on the Texans the week before too. They
I
lost
didn't-
2 in a row.
Yeah, I didn't even bet that game.
No, they won last week, didn't they?
They didn't beat the spread.
They beat the Cowboys last week though.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago
2
against
weeks
the
ago.
Lions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That they got beat.
But look, I watched this game because I had money on it. It covered, thankfully, but man, those motherfuckers. And as soon as the Panthers scored, they had to go for 2 to tie it, which they got. Mahomes just put his helmet on and goes, "Okay, let's go win the game." And that was literally what he said to Kelsey or somebody on the sideline. They just drove down the field 90 yards.
Yeah, why not?
Game over. Backup kicker. It just doesn't matter. This is the best team.
It felt. I don't know if planned is the right way. It's just like
It did feel planned. That's
how,
the way I felt.
You know how when you're like
Scripted?
fighting somebody
Yeah.
that's younger than you or something, like your little brother, and you just let him get one in.
Yeah.
You let him get you in like, hey, I'll give you. You could start fucking with me pinned to the mat, and then we'll see who wins. That's kind of what it feels like for them. They're bored.
Listen, the NFL's real to me, damn it. All right.
It is. I want to say this. Bryce Young, I would love to see what he does with talent. He's looked pretty good the last couple weeks. If Adam Thielen finally came back for these guys because he was buried on my fantasy roster somewhere, but he could be all right. This is just a dog shit team.
21 for 35.
It's not, but it's the Chiefs defense too. Like, it's not terrible. Titans versus Texans here. This is a shocker. Jesus Christ. A lot of people lost a lot of money on this
Levis
one.
torched him.
How and why and what is wrong with this team? They're now 7-5. They started off 7-1.
Banged
think.
up.
I mean,
right?
the Titans have not many.
6-1?
They don't have. They have Calvin Ridley. They've got Tony Pollard, and they've got Will Levis. They're going to win a couple games, right? I mean, that's not
the
a terrible
NFL,
combo.
yeah.
It's the NFL. They're going to win some games.
Like, I know he's the quarterback, but how the fuck is Will Levis their captain?
I don't know. And he's doing those,
Because nobody else
mayonnaise commercials.
Nobody else has been there more than 3 years.
Have you seen those mayonnaise commercials he's doing now?
Yeah, because he puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
God.
really funny commercials.
You should be kicked out of the league for that.
It's
kicked out
like
of
butter
life.
coffee, right?
No, it's not.
It's not. Sure isn't.
Mayonnaise has egg white and vinegar in it. What the fuck are
was
you
a
doing
f-
putting that in your coffee?
It was a fun phase in like 2017, spending $12 on a butter coffee.
Butter coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when you could just make it yourself.
Yeah.
I just carried butter around.
That's it. Next up, Broncos against the Raiders. God damn it, dude. Minshew gave it his all here. So I actually watched this. The first time I watched the Raiders all year in real life because I wanted to see what would happen, and there wasn't a lot of good afternoon games on in the quad. This is the only thing that filled it up. The Raiders have no fucking offense
Where are you getting the
whatsoever, or on my ass, but that was what the listener shows.
Okay, I think it should be it should be a face tat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right here above the eyebrow.
Yeah.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Let's
Could
ride.
you imagine? But here's the thing: the Raiders have a really good defense with Crosby and those guys. Like this game was closer than it should have been because there is not one single person on offense that I recognize there besides Minshew, and Brock Bowers is the best tight end in football.
Jacoby Myers is good.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's like a fourth option for somebody, not your starting fucking
He's a
wide
slot guy.
receiver.
He's
Look,
a slot guy.
he had 10 catches
Which
for
is where
121 yards.
He's a
but-
slot guy, which is what he was before Devontae Adams fled, which is the smart move. I'm not saying he shouldn't have done it. He should have fled somewhere other than the
Is
fucking
it?
Jets.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
But
Getting out of the Raiders franchise is
if they
always a
let
smart
Tom
move.
Brady work with his team and keep that defense together, they could have something in the future. I think the Raiders, and it's a fun place now. You're in Vegas. You should be able to get some cool people out there with Brady in there, as long as homeboy doesn't fuck it up. Packers at the 49ers. Brock Purdy was out in this game. Everybody was out in this game.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Packers bore me.
Packers are 8-3.
Packers roll.
They're gross. They stink.
Josh Jacobs lit it up for me in fantasy. Shout out to him.
Not afraid of the Packers.
Not either. I'm not either, to be honest with you. And I don't think they're a real threat at all.
No.
Cardinals, Seahawks. Neither of these teams are a threat. This was an awful game to watch.
I like the Cardinals.
So fucking boring. Well, they scored 6 points.
If the season ended today, both of those teams are in the playoffs
God, why?
because everybody in the
NFC
NFC sucks.
Yeah.
No, dude, it's
NFC's
top
bad.
heavy. Same as the AFC.
No, it's
And then last but not least,
think
the
the Broncos
Eagles,
are better?
man. The Eagles look like the best team in the NFC right now.
We're overcoming our coaching.
Well, here's the thing. What you're really doing is limiting Jalen Hurts on his throws, having him run more. It's identical to what they're doing in Buffalo, and that's the success for both of those teams this year, is limiting the mistakes of the quarterback by only letting them throw 20, 22 times a game and having them run design runs for 12, 14 carries a game. And it's
Kellen Moore is a good offensive coordinator. Sirianni's getting out of the way. And then Saquon's the MVP.
Yes,
He should be.
I
speaking
believe
of that,
so too.
it should be either him or Derrick Henry, frankly, right?
I think Barkley's now surpassed him in yards.
Well, yeah, but we'll see how the rest of the season. There's still games left. The Giants let Saquon go. They didn't want to pay him. Titans let Derrick Henry go. They didn't want to pay him. Raiders let Josh Jacobs go. They didn't want to pay him. Those three teams are 7-26, and the teams they went to are 24-9.
Yep.
They went to good franchises, though.
Okay.
Who was the other one?
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs went to Green
the
Bay.
Packers, yeah.
Who was the other one you mentioned? Derrick Henry. And
Henry from the Titans, Saquon
Ravens.
from the Giants.
Saquon, yeah. I mean, maybe running backs are important.
And Josh Jacobs to the Packers, without him on that team, they fucking suck.
Oh, they're terrible.
They win 4 or 5 games this season.
Yep.
I don't know about Henry and Baltimore. They probably would win 8 or 9 games still, even without him. But
I consider Saquon to be more than just a running back. He's just like a freak athlete.
Yeah.
He really is.
he's a fucking animal.
He's amazing, and it's
He's
nice
like
to see him with a great team and what he
Yeah.
could actually do.
He's
again.
probably the most fun dude to watch play in the NFL right now.
But imagine if he would have started off on a great team his entire career.
He belongs
instead of that
in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Shitty Giants
No,
team.
it sucks that the NFL draft is so frequently populated by shitty franchises at the top, which is just the way it is, obviously. But there's a lot of great players that just get drowned out.
this is why we need relegation instead of just assigning draft picks based on being a loser, right? We need the Giants and the Panthers should be kicked out of the league for a year.
So like the XFL.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or somewhere. Send them to play soccer for a year.
Because to Bob's point, the coach of the Giants had to sit down with Malik Neighbors after his rant after the game because, yeah, man, he's a fucking unbelievable wide receiver, and they're throwing Tommy DeVito out there. his numbers are going to look like shit. It's going to fuck him up, dude. And there's no way. This is his second outburst of the year. He's fucking out of there, Malik Neighbors, and he's great.
You think the Tommy DeVito magic's gone?
Probably. I mean, it's tough for a guy like Malik Neighbors or probably basically any high draft pick because you've been winning your whole life. Because that's just it. Like you're probably unless there's some quarterbacks that end up playing in like mediocre schools that'll get drafted in the top 10, but like the skill position players especially are usually like dudes who come from like Ohio State or LSU and shit like that.
Georgia.
It is always sick though when like a really bad high school has just a 5-star.
Yeah.
Remember when Pitt had Larry Fitzgerald, and we all were like, "Man, imagine if you
Calvin
played at a real
Johnson
school."
he's at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, that's right, dude. He was at Tech. Son of a bitch.
And they didn't really throw the
I mean,
ball.
Randy Moss went to fucking Marshall.
Yeah.
That
He
wasn't
was
my
supposed
choice.
to be
Yeah.
somewhere else.
He's at Notre Dame.
Didn't Jerry Rice go to like Southwest Mississippi
Yeah.
State or
Yeah.
some bullshit like that?
Yeah,
But that was fucking in the 70s. Who cares
Yeah.
about that?
Jerry Rice also a fraud. Cheater. Big cheater.
What? I don't even.
Stick him.
Yeah. Stick him. No,
Yeah.
he's not.
He wouldn't have those catches if he wasn't wearing all that stick him on his hands.
No, he's fine. Have you seen the shit the players wear now? Jesus Christ,
That-
man.
yeah,
They
the
can
gloves.
catch it with two fingers.
It's like gloves that have Spider-Man claws on
Yep.
them or
Yeah,
whatever the
It's
fuck.
a magnet for the ball.
So I bought him for my kid for this season. Of,
It's not technically stickum, but whatever that stuff is,
Oh.
it's like those pads that people have for. Well, one they make them for cleaning your weapon, right? So the top side is felt and the bottom side is this stuff, and it's some kind of plastic that sticks to everything.
I was throwing balls with him in the backyard. I go, just give me one of those gloves. Just give me the right hand. So I put the right-handed glove on, and dude, I could catch it with like 3 fingers. I was like, this is fucking insane. Every kid is wearing him at like 6 years old.
How you dropping
Literally.
any balls?
6 years old. At 6, and then if you're wearing this the rest of your life, yeah. But then that's why you see so many fucking kids and college and NFL players trying to catch it with one hand because it looks impressive for a highlight, and then they fucking drop the goddamn ball because they think they can. But yeah, that's not going anywhere. Fight-wise, is there anything going on for UFC or are we out of here?
Peter Yan won his fight.
He did?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Stuff's coming up later.
Okay.
There's a pay-per-view in December. Bilal's out, so Rakhmanov's fighting, I think, Usman. Maybe for an interim title, we'll see.
Okay. And then Francis Ngannou said he would to go against John Jones. Is that realistic or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
John's not going to fight him, and he's not going to fight Aspinall.
No.
He's going to fight Oliveira.
They would never pay either enough money. Like John, I think
Pereira, I think you mean.
he could
Yeah,
fight Pereira.
yeah.
He like John could still fight Pereira, but I think he's gonna want like $30 million. And I don't think Dana's
Yeah, he's not. That's the problem. John's not under contract anymore, so he can't be forced into anything at this point. He's got to agree to the fight, which is always technically the case in UFC, especially at his level. But you're gonna have to pay. Like historically, that would be $3 million payout.
If he's not
plus
on
back end or whatever.
Well, let me ask you this: if he's not under contract for the UFC anymore,
He can do whatever he wants.
can he go to PFL and fight Ngannou? Because they got the money to do it.
They're not gonna do that.
30 mil for both guys. Because if Ngannou, if Jones gets,
We
it,
would all
Ngannou's
pay
gonna
for
want
that though, and it would put PFL on the map.
I think he is technically like he has a non-compete or something. Like he can't go
may,
anywhere.
yeah.
But he's deal by or fight by fight for the deal.
Yeah,
so
it's
he's gonna
it's-
ask for like $35-40 million.
Yeah.
He's just gonna retire.
I don't know. It depends on the money.
I think he should fight Aspinall. I don't know why he wouldn't. To be honest, it's a no lose situation. Forget about like nobody gives a fuck about you being undefeated. You were doing cocaine and shit. You know what I mean? It's like either you beat him and you fucking go down as the GOAT.
Well, he already
Or
does
you-
go down as a GOAT.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Kinda.
Anderson
Yeah, I do.
Silva's the GOAT.
No.
Anderson Silva had 7 title defenses in a row. He fucking won 11 straight fights. And
Demetrius
the most competitive.
Johnson also up there.
Yeah, Mighty Mouse
he's
is
a-
up
he's a
there.
little
By the
guy.
way, Mighty Mouse, you know what he's doing in his spare time now? Showing up to these fucking BJJ tournaments and just fucking people up.
Yeah,
dude.
he loves it. He absolutely loves it.
It's really funny because he's like, you would be at his age, you would be in the seniors division.
Yes.
Right? And he's fighting dudes that are, other black belts for sure.
But here's the thing, because I was asking my kid's jiu-jitsu instructor about that. I go,
Mm-hmm.
what's the allure of that? And he goes, man, even his coach was just like, man, even though I get killed, it's just being honored to be in the ring with him. Like, dead serious.
Mm. People are
Or on
lining
the
up
mat
to
with
fight
I'm
him, and
sorry.
he fucks them up immediately.
Yeah.
Because he's still an incredible, forget about even You take an athlete like him and you give him a little bit of skill, he's beating everybody else in that fucking
But
pool.
he just loves it.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. And if you want to get destroyed by our hero, it's pretty rad, man.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're in BJJ, just stand up. They take you down, just stand up.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
It's so easy.
It would be kind of fun to try to take batting practice off of Maddox.
Yeah, just once.
Just to see if I could even fucking hit the ball.
right now.
So
Yeah, even
He'll
right now.
groove at like 60. I want to fucking.
they
crank
just did it on Dude Perfect. I just watched it. It was the closer for the Rangers, Bob.
Yeah, I saw that. I forget his name.
He
but
got
yeah.
a hit.
I mean, he throws 98.
He threw 98 the entire time, and the dude got a hit.
Well, did you see that thing Maddox did? So they were filming a commercial.
Imagine if he blows out his arm, pitching to
They
Dude
stopped it
Perfect.
early.
So that's what happened. So there
Yeah.
was a break in the footage. He had a conversation with the manager. He allegedly couldn't speak English, and they go, "Hey man, so we're going to shorten this to 2 more pitches," and they were like, "Okay." So
It's
yeah.
like what happened to your stud pitcher? Oh, he had to get Tommy John because he was pitching to Cody from Dude Perfect.
That's exactly
I
what
mean,
it was.
someone would.
Not Cody. It was the other one.
Someone would and should lose their job if a major player gets injured in a Dude Perfect.
It was
video.
their star reliever.
Like-
I
whoever
mean,
that
Edwin
is.
Diaz hasn't come back from the World Baseball Classic, but at least that's a competitive game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it doesn't
still.
matter or mean anything, but at least it's competitive.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that thing where Maddox was trolling Chris Bryant back in the day?
Yeah.
That's like that was not that long ago. I still feel like Maddox could dust you up pretty good.
Oh yeah.
He's the best pitcher ever.
Yeah, it would be
Ever.
Yeah.
It would. Yeah, agreed. And it would be. It's not, like the mile per hour doesn't matter if it's fucking darting at the last second. Like
Yeah.
you're not squaring up a ball that moves like that.
No.
Full stop, bitch.
I don't want to do it because you would just have bumblebees in your hands all afternoon, and I would have to go fight him.
Yeah. That's
And
all it is.
beating up an old autistic man that's not a good look.
But you
for
get to see his
anybody.
bush. I heard it's
Yeah, that'd be
fucking
true, yeah.
legendary. So
That story they told in the doc, by the way, about him pissing on people's legs, that's 100% true.
Yep.
One of the a relief pitcher from the Braves told me that in Iraq, actually.
No, dude.
Back in 2007.
Remember Hudson? Tim Hudson told us when we were at the
Yeah,
fucking.
he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, dude, it's great. It's
But
great.
everybody
He says
still
he's the
loves
best.
him, yeah.
I love him. I love him. Appreciate you tuning in. This will air later, so no need to say head on over to fake news on Patreon.
Yeah, I'll
right
just
now,
upload it
but,
now.
yeah, we'll see what happens here, kids. Go to mybookie.com, bet with us or against us. Just make sure to use that promo code Drinkin Bros to double that first deposit up to $1,000. Go to iTunes, rate this show a 5-star and leave a quick review. Also, head on over to Spotify, just a 5-star, and you can walk away. For D'Anthony Holloway, Delco Dan Hot, Bob, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Monday Morning Recap. Good morning, everyone.